Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and yesterday, as I mentioned, all the mini set cards have been revealed, so today we're going to review all of them for both Standard and Wild. They should all be live later today, 4 hours from when this video goes live, or probably by the time you even watch this, it's already out and you can try the cards out, but I thought I'd give you my take on all the cards, so we'll go over all the ones I haven't covered in other videos. We're not going to repeat anything from before. So starting up with Demon Hunter, we have the new Sigil. We have another Sigil, the third Sigil. Sigil of Summoning. It's a 2-mana spell. You summon 2/2 demons with Taunt, and I mean, that's pretty good. 2-mana 4/4 seems pretty solid. I don't know what deck this fits into, whether you want to run it like a defensive option, OTK DH, or just put in Death Rattle Demon Hunter, a mid-range Demon Hunter, whatever, but a 2-mana 4/4 for Taunt, even if it's delayed a little bit, seems pretty solid. But again, maybe it's just not worth the cut. I just don't know what it fits into. I don't quite know, but it can help you with that Sigil achievement hunting, so look out for that. I'll give it a 2. I don't think it sees play in Standard, but it very well might. It just has to find that right deck, but I'm not convinced. And in Wild, no deck exists other than like odd DH, and maybe you're playing Highlander Demon Hunter, but I don't think so. So I'll give it a 1 for Wild. Not really making the cut. We have Taint Heart Tormentor, 8-mana 8/8 demon with Taunt. Your opponent's spells cost 2 more. You know, you have King Rush. It goes face for 8. This is a taunt that doesn't do a heck of a lot outside of making spells cost more. It's like the ultimate like counter maybe to like a Celestial Alignment Druid, right? This costs 1, and then you don't want them play their spell. So Demon Hunter can answer Celestial Alignment if it gets out of control, right? You play this and like King Rush, and other than that, I don't know. It's not like a terrible card. It's a big, you know, it's an Ironbark, whatever it used to be for Druid with an upside, but I at the same time, I don't think you're locking people out with spells and playing a big taunt in Demon Hunter. I'll give it 2. Not a bad card in Standard, but again, I don't think it makes the cut unless that Druid deck is that good. And in Wild, a 1, because you're never doing this in Wild. And the last Demon Hunter card is Fel Rattler, 3-mana 3/2 beast. Rush, Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. So this is 2 levels of damage, the 3 on the initial rush, and then the 1 AoE, and this is insane in Death Rattle Demon Hunter. This is just a ridiculously good card. You can cheat it out with the newly buffed 2-drop, and it's just another Death Rattle to hit. It can be resummoned with N'Zoth. It's just an incredibly good card. I'm gonna give this a 4 in Standard. This sees play for sure in Death Rattle Demon Hunter. It's Rush. It's just everything you want it to be. It's just really solid. And in Wild, I'll give it a 3, because maybe an odd Demon Hunter would run this. Like, its removal, it can deal with tokens like odd Paladin stuff, or just like Dark Lair 1 health minions, whatever. It's just a solid minion. I'll give it a 3 in Wild. I think it could see some play. I've already covered all of the Druid cards. We're going to skip to Hunter, where we have Serpent Bloom, 0 mana, give a friendly beast poisonous. You already have like the runner card that like summons hyenas with Rush. You can put 1 on that. That's really good. It also summons, because it's a spell, summons another hyena there. You can put it onto any beast, period. And it's just really good. It's just hard removal for 0 mana. It's outside of the lack of card draw in Hunter, that's the only downside of this card. You want to, like, you know, it's a card that's stuck in your hand without a beast to kill it to something. But other than that, this card's insanely good in Standard. I'm gonna give it a 4. It's just like, it's solid, super good removal. And I mean, face decks can run it to get through taunts. You can just play this in a mid-range deck just to be poisonous, just super solid. Put it on any rush beast. It's just incredibly good. And in Wild, it's insane too. You have like the Spring Paw stuff. You have Dread Scale. You put this on Dread Scale, it clears the entire board. It kills everything. So even a huge toad, it can spit randomly. Imagine if it could spit face and kill with poisonous. It's pretty solid. Just Hunter sucks in Wild. So maybe you play it in like a Reno Hunter or an Even Hunter. I don't know. I'll give it a 3 in Wild, because there's a lot more implications for it, but Hunter is just not great, and nothing in this mini set's going to help put it over the top. Even though we have the next card, Sindori Scent Finder. 4 mana 1/6, which not the greatest stats, but Frenzy. Summon 4 1/1 hyenas with Rush. That's insane. That is a whole lot of stats, and those are all beasts that you can put Serpent Bloom on, and you know, it's a 6 health minion on 4. It's not easy to kill in 1 hit, so the Frenzy's likely to go off even if you don't proc it, but you have like Wound Prey, and you have this huge board of beasts, and your opponent has to deal with it, and if you're playing aggressive Hunter, you're going to push a lot of damage, get a lot of chip damage. This card seems insane to me. It just seems absurd amount of stats for just 4 mana. I know it's not guaranteed, but man, dealing 6 on 4 is really not that easy, so I'm gonna give this a 4 in standard. I think a face deck could use this. I think a mid-range deck can use this. This card just seems absurdly good. And in Wild, I'll give it a 3 because, again, what are you doing in Wild with Hunter? But maybe like a Reno Hunter or Even Hunter can use this, but Even Hunter's gonna have a harder time proccing this. And turn 4 in Wild, you're already facing like 3 Molten Giants and like, you know, Flesh Giants. It's rough. Wild's a rough place for Hunter. And last, we have Venom Strike Bow, 4 mana, 1/2 poisonous weapon. Very slow. It removes 2 things. I don't think you're playing this, especially when you have these other 2 cards, which are insane removal. Like, I can't imagine it. It's a weapon you can discover off like the Kodo card that's 3 mana, but overall I don't see this as a viable option. I actually think it's kind of terrible. I'm giving this a 1 in standard and a 1 in Wild. I don't think you're ever playing this card, but the other 200 cards are absolutely crazy. And then next we have Mage. Mage spell, Shattering Blast. It's a frost spell, so it goes with the that 3 mana 3-drop that like draws a card, can give you 1/1 freezes, but its effect is destroy all frozen minions. So we have like Snap Freeze, we have Shatter, they've all sucked. Now we have another spell that does the same thing but to everything, and it works with like the 4 mana legendary Varden whatever it's called, and works with Blizzard and Frost Nova and Wild. But this card does nothing if something's not frozen. It's literally a do nothing card. It's conditional. I just don't see this. These cards have never worked, and this is expensive, and you got to combo with something else. I'm giving it a 1 standard and Wild, and yes, I know there's Frost Nova, Shattering Blast, but I can't imagine that's worth running a dead card unless you have that exact combo live. And last mage card we have is Flowcaster, 6 mana 5/5, costs 2 less for each frozen enemy. Again, Mage isn't doing a lot of freezing stuff in standard, and this ain't gonna put it over the top. Like, okay, say you freeze like what, 3 enemies, then you can cheat it out. You can cheat it out for 0 mana. But that's just not going to happen that reliably. I guess with like the upgradable spell, there's some synergies with it. Like you play it on after 5 mana, you freeze 2 things, and then this costs 2 mana. That's good. But like, it's just, is that really going to put like this mid-range Frost Mage on the map? No. I think this card's crap. I think it's bad. I'm going to give it a 1. And in Wild, where you have Blizzard, Frost Nova, and all that, cheating out 5/5s unless it's like from a secret package, which is a lot more reliable, I don't see it being a thing. Even with like Conjurer's Calling being a card you could combo it with, I'll give it a 1 in Wild as well. Next we have the Paladin cards. Is Paladin going to be OP as well? We have Seed Cloud Buckler, 3 mana 2/3 weapon. Death Roll, give your minions Divine Shield. This weapon is garbage. It's so bad. 3 mana, deal 6, and when your reward for breaking this weapon is Divine Shield. So your board needs to be good. You have to play a 3 mana 2/3 weapon. Paladin has so many broken cards. Why are you ever playing Sea Cloud Buckler in any format ever? This card is hot garbage. One of the worst weapons I think ever made. I can't imagine a world where you want to play this card, even if you're running Blood Knight. And I don't know, maybe you play Sea Cloud Buckler into Light Sorrow in Wild and get this insane combo. But overall, I think it's one of the worst cards in a long time. I'm giving this a 1 in standard Wild. I think this card's absolute garbage. But let me know in the comments below. Am I missing something? Is it actually insane? I don't know. It seems terrible to me. And then we have a new secret for Paladin, Judgment of Justice. 1 mana, when an enemy attacks, set its attack and health to 1. So it's like a Wave of Apathy, which is a Paladin card, by the way. But it's a permanent effect on 1 minion, and that's it. Very easy to play around. I mean, it's out of all the Paladin secrets, it seems pretty bad. I think they're scared to give Paladin some support right now. It's so ridiculous. We saw the nerfs and all that. This card seems like not worth running as a secret, period, in either standard or Wild. And it's a holy spell, so you don't even want to really play it, because then you draw it up a Night of Anointment, you feel even worse. Like, it's just, I don't think this card is any good. I'm gonna give it a 1 in both standard and Wild. I just don't see it. Like, it's so easy to play around, and it's just, you have Wave of Apathy and you don't even want to use that. I can't see it. And then we have Party Up, 7 mana spell, summon 5 2/2 adventures with random bonus effects. We haven't gone over the adventures, but there's like, I believe 8 of them, and they're all 2/2s. They're all 2 mana, and they range from having taunt to spell damage to poisonous to Wind Fury. And basically the only really good one is Rush, Divine Shield, which is like just shield and mini bot. And that's really it. The rest are pretty garbage. You have like Frostwolf Grunt and just really bad. The adventures don't seem great, and they're not like lackeys. They don't create value, thankfully. That was the biggest mistake about lackeys, but most of them just seem overcosted for their effect. I'm really not sold on them, and well, with this you get a 7-mana 10/10 of a bunch of middling garbage effects that you're just never going to want to play. This seems awful. I'm gonna give this a 1. I'm giving all the Paladin cards a 1 in Standard Wild. I think they're all terrible, so that's good news. I don't think Paladin's getting any better with this mini set. With the priest cards, we have 5-mana spell against all odds, destroy all odd attack minions. This is weird. You still can't kill 4 attack minions as a priest, but you can kill absolutely everything else. I think this card's really cool. It's like a weird way to play around stuff. Maybe if you can buff things to play around the spell, but it seems very clunky and situational. It's the weirdest board clear I've ever seen, but I like it. I think it's really cool. I'll give it a 3 because I don't know how to evaluate this thing. It's just out there. Any 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9 attack minion gets nuked. Is that good? Depends on the meta. I don't know. It's 5 mana. It probably doesn't see any play, but I just think it's such a cool, weird card for Standard. I'll give it a 3. In Wild, no. It screws your Polk out. You have way better AoEs. You have Psychic, Scream, Hysteria. I don't think it's better than that in any way. But again, I think it's a cool card. 2 in Wild, but yeah, just super cool. I don't know. I'm nerding out for it. And then we have Cleric of Anchi, a 1-mana 1/2 battle cry. If you restored health this turn, discover a spell from your deck. So it could be good with like a renew, your 0-mana heal, your hero power, and it's discover a spell. It's not a copy, so it does draw the card. It kind of replaces like that dragon card, the 1/1 that, if you were holding a dragon, you could draw a spell like that, and it's not bad. If you want to run card draw in priest, this is a decent option, but they have so much value generation that they just really don't need it. And it's a decent card, but I don't see it seeing play in the current archetypes. And I don't see any of these new cards really making new archetypes. So I'll give it a 2 in Standard and a 2 in Wild, just because, again, I don't think it's quite enough. Next, we have the Rogue cards. We have a 3-mana 2/5 Stealth Beast. It has Poisonous while you have no other minions. Weird card. I mean, you play it, it's really annoying, can kill anything, but what are you doing with this? I mean, you're gonna get it randomly off that 1-mana like Demonic Project spell, but yeah, I don't know what this is going into. I can't evaluate this card as a realistic card you would ever play in any rogue deck right now, but it is very annoying. You cannot kill this. Like, on 3, what kills this? Pretty much nothing, and you can buff it up with, like, I don't know, a Cold Blood and Wild. I don't know. I just don't see it. I'll give it a 2. It's such a weird card. It's cool. I'll give it that. It's a cool card, but to have no other minions, then it gets poisonous. Otherwise, it's garbage. I'll give it 2 in Standard and a 1 in Wild, because again, you place an odd rogue? Like, no, I can't imagine that. And then we have a 3-mana spell for rogue as well. 3-mana, draw 2 minions, because rogue needs more draw, right? And any play this turn gains stealth for 1 turn. So in Wild, Edwin finally goes back to his roots and can gain stealth. But I don't know, it's a weird card. There's not really a lot you want to give stealth right now. Like, all the rogue decks are about playing Battlecry minions basically forever and ever for a long time now. You want to give something stealth, like maybe you can high roll and give field contact stealth. And you got gold auctioneer conceal like in the old days, but seems kind of clunky, but kind of interesting. I don't think it sees play. There's so much good card draw options, and this is 3-mana draw 2, and for rogue that is ridiculously expensive at the moment. I'll give it a 2 in Standard and a 1 in Wild, but maybe in Wild you could do some really crazy Edwin or questing shenanigans and give them stealth. It could be pretty cool. We have Shaman, which needs all the help it can get. We already went over that 1/3 drop that draws 2 cards. What else do you got? So we got Perpetual Flame. It's a 1-mana spell with Overload 1. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. If it dies, recast this. So it's 1 mana, deal 6 to an enemy minion. It's okay. I mean, it's got Overload, which is good with Tunnel Trog and Wild. Like I always like to say, everything's good because of Tunnel Trog, but I don't know, they're not, like, Shaman's not really struggling with removal. Removal's not really their big thing. And the Overload, again, is kind of frustrating on this. I don't know what this is really doing. It's a fire card, too. It doesn't even work with Brewcan. I don't know. I don't see what this card is really doing at the moment. I'm going to give it a 2. It's not terrible, but again, I don't see it fitting into anything. And Wild, I'll give it a 1 because, well, what are you going to do in Wild with this? And then we have Wailing Vapor, a 1-mana 1/3 elemental. So the elemental package needs some help. They only have the good 1-drop right now, and well, they got another one. It's 1-mana 1/3. After you play an elemental, gain +1 attack. really crazy. It's like Tunnel Trog, Mana Worm, infinitely scaling. Every time you play an elemental, this keeps getting bigger and bigger in attack. And well, you can curve into stuff pretty well. You can play this for 0 mana on turn 1 with a 1/2 that makes an elemental cheaper, and seems solid. It seems solid. It's a 1-drop that Shaman desperately needs, and it'll be really interesting to see how Elemental Shaman does after this mini set comes out, because with the Primal Dungeoneer, with the Unbound Elemental buff, I think there's a chance for Shaman to be playable, and this is a really good card. I'm gonna give it a 4 in Standard. In Wild, I don't think you're doing Elemental Shaman stuff. I'll give it a 2 there, but again, it's a good card, and Shaman desperately needs it. Urlock has Unstable Shadow Blast, 2 mana spell, deals 6 damage to a minion. Excess hits your hero, so this is probably more Dark Glare support in Wild, because it removes everything and you self-damage, so that's really good. Anything with 5 health or less, and it's just solid, good removal, and self-damaging is typically, you know, pretty beneficial to Warlock. It's just really good removal, and it's a shadow spell, so it works with Tamsin and all that. This just seems absurdly good removal, and even in Standard I could see this going a long way. This kills almost everything, and especially the new 4 mana Frenzy minion for Hunter, it might be pretty viable. So I'm gonna give this a 4 in Standard. It's just insanely good removal. In Wild, I'll give it a 4 there as well, because Dark Glare can absolutely use this. I've been playing a lot of Dark Glare. I'm sorry, I need my Nozdorma wins, and this feels like it would fit right in. Just 1 damage gives you another proc with your Dark Glare. So yeah, 4 in Wild as well. Seems like a really good card. We have Final Gasp, 1 mana spell, deal 1 damage to a minion. So it's like Old Mortal Coil. If it dies, summon a 2/2 adventure with a random bonus effect. So again, it's a 1 mana 2/2. It's also kind of reminiscent of like Blood to Ichor in Wild, which I love that card. It doesn't see much play anymore, but it's very similar to that. I would summon a 2/2, but this might have Taunt, Lifesteal, Rush, Divine Shield, whatever. It's a good card. It's a good card. I just don't know what it fits into, if it's really worth it. And you can, you know, damage your own stuff or kill your own stuff. I don't know. I'll give it a 2 in Standard, 1 in Wild, but it might be better than I think. And we have Stealer of Souls. This card is potentially scary. 4 mana 2/6 demon. After you draw a card, change its cost to health instead of mana. So you play this in life tap, and then you can play whatever you get, self-damaging. In Standard, there's not a ton of great synergies with this. I don't see this being that incredibly impactful. It's just okay. Like the stats aren't great, and there's not that great of card draw options outside of like Backfire and Free Admission. You could do that, but those are 7 mana combos. So again, I don't think it makes a cut in Standard. It is mana cheap, but again, you have to use your health, which is a big thing. So I'll give it a 2 in Standard. In Wild, there's tons of implications. You have Solarium, you have Plot Twist, you have Violet Illusionist, which can make you immune while you're, you know, playing this. You could do this giant scam thing where you play Stealer of Souls, Plot Twist, and try and hit a Violet Illusionist, then making yourself immune, and then doing these crazy kind of like Darkest Hour Warlock things. The thing is, it's like a 7 mana play or a 6 mana play, where Dark Glare already dominates and is so much faster and just cheats out 8/8s already. But maybe it's this scam, ridiculous, broken thing in Wild. There's a potential for it. So for Wild, I'll give it that potential 3, because maybe it will break the format in that way. But it does seem a little bit, you know, clunky and expensive in that regard. But yeah, it could be pretty insane. And then we have the Warrior cards with Man at Arms, 2 mana 2/3 Battlecry. If you have a weapon equipped, gain +1/+1. It's a totem golem without overload if you're holding a weapon. I mean, there's some weapons you want to play in Warrior right now, but not a ton. Other like, I mean, it doesn't even curve in it with Moarg, right? Like you play Moarg on 1 and Man at Arms doesn't really work. I don't know, but there is another weapon to go over. It's okay, but like honestly, 2 mana 3/4 in today's Hearthstone, it's not enough. It needs like Rush, like the old Rogue like Burgle card. I'll give it a 2. It's not really going to do much of anything in my opinion in Standard, and a 1 in Wild, because it's a 3/4 in Wild. We have Whiststone Hatchet, 1 mana 1/4 weapon, so it's like a Light's Justice with you know, a little bit of upside, because it says after your hero attacks, give a minion in your hand +1 attack, so it's like a hand buff thing, but it's just +1 attack for a 1 mana weapon. I don't know, you can upgrade it. You could put maybe this into Pirate Warrior in Wild. That might be more realistic, but in Standard, I just don't see the support for this. I'm gonna give it a 1 in Standard and a 1 in Wild. I don't think this weapon's that great, even though it's a Light's Justice with upside. And then we have Kresh, Lord of Turtling, 6 mana 3/9 Beast, Frenzy Gate, 8 armor, Death Rattle, equip a 2/5 Turtle Spike. This card's insane. Like, it's really good. The Frenzy's likely to go off because it's 9 health for 6 mana. You get a big weapon. That's a 10 damage weapon, and it can come back with your Sour Fang. It can come back with N'Zoth. This is the card that might help Warrior, Control Warrior, come back because you have life gain, you have a big minion, you can bring it back. I just think this card's super cool. It's a Lord of Turtling, which is awesome. I love this card. I want this to bring Control Warrior back. It probably won't. It probably won't happen, but this card's super cool. I'm gonna give it a 4 in Standard. In Wild, maybe, nah, it's just not gonna happen in Wild. I'll give it a 2 there, but it's such a cool card that maybe, just maybe, Control Warrior can come back. And on the neutral side, we have Arc, Druid, and Narrowlex, 3 mana, 3/3, dormant for 2 turns. While dormant, add a dream card to your hand at the end of your turn, and the dream cards are from Ysera. They were recently changed, and it's not bad. 3 mana, 3/3, get 2 cards, and they're really good cards. Is that too slow in Standard? Maybe, but maybe with Scabs making this cost 0, it's broken, and Scabs is broken, and that was right after all. Or you play this and then you Maiev it, and then Maiev is also broken. This card alone is going to make 2 of my mistakes correct, although probably not. It's good value. It's might see play in like a value deck, and you know, you get a 3/3 and you get 2 dream cards, which are above average cards. Solid. I'll give it 3. I think it pops up in some deck somewhere in Standard. I just don't know where. And in Wild, that stuff's just not good enough. I'll give it a 1. We have Devouring Ectoplasm, 3 mana, 3/2 Death Rattle, summon a 2/2 Adventure with a random bonus effect. Only deck I can see this ever seeing any play is Death Rattle Demon Hunter, because you can cheat it out, but they already got the new beast. They already have some good stuff. I feel like this is very filler to me to show off what the Adventure stuff can do. It's like Piloted Shredder, maybe a little bit better than Piloted Shredder to be exact, but I just don't think it makes the cut in today's Hearthstone. In Standard, I'll give it a 2. In Wild, I'll give it a 1. We have Selfless Sidekick, 7 mana, 6/6 minion, Battlecry, equip a random weapon from your deck. This is a tutor for like Sphere of Sapience, a Twig in Wild, or maybe you're playing Skull of Minari in Wild and you want to cheat that out, but it's a really weird tutor. It's a tutor for weapon, but it's 7 mana. It's so slow. It's a really cool card for that aspect, but at 7 mana, your weapon's got to be doing something pretty incredible, and I don't see anything in Standard or Wild to really make me think that it's going to do that, other than like this Twig Sphere Sapiens thing in Wild, but I don't think you're running Selfless Sidekick, even if it costs 1 mana after an alignment to make this worth it. So I'm going to give this a 1 in Standard or Wild, but really unique design. And last, we have Meeting Stone, 1 mana, 0/2. At the end of your turn, add a 2/2 Adventure with a random bonus effect to your hand. It's like Evil Totem for the Adventurers, but I think Adventurers suck. It's a 1 mana, 0/2. It's a first day of school card. I don't think you're putting this into any deck, period. I'm giving it a 1 in Standard Wild. And there you have it. We reviewed every single card. Let me know what you guys think. I'm completely wrong about, what I'm completely right about, which is probably nothing. Let's be real. And yeah, enjoy the mini set. Hopefully you guys have some fun. Hopefully the meta's good. Please be good. And yeah, we'll probably rant about broken stuff tomorrow or something. So check out the videos. And if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.